Okay, so
we're
live.
Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. We're so glad you could attend. Come inside, come inside.
Hello. That was a beautiful intro there, CP. Charles. God, I'm never going to get your name right here. Okay, I apologize.
It's fine.
But hey, welcome to Slapdash episode of Show Business. It's going to be a fun show, guys. My name is Lindsay of My 2 Cents of Nonsense. And then we've got over here my main man.
Oh, stumbling across the production. Until he gets to me, I'll let you know that I'm Charles, otherwise known as CPO of Willis Greedia. On the bottom here, Lindsay, this is your cue to put up the thing under my head. If you're over on Willis Greedia, only members will be able to comment during the live stream. But everybody can comment over on My 2 Cents of Nonsense page, which I kind of want you there anyway. If you had it. Right. Here it is. The link is in the description. Please, let's help Lindsay get to his watch hours.
Thank you, my friend.
No, don't thank me yet. Nobody's there.
That's true. Well, we'll get there. Don't worry about it. But this is more than a two-man show. It's a menage a trois over here with my boy Gray.
Hey, I'm Gray.
Beautiful as always. I love it.
Thank you.
One of these days is going to be all like Robin Williams on cocaine.
I mean, to threaten me with a good time, why don't you? I'm down.
Oh, no. Did you get the numbers from last weekend? There's an image.
What band?
Hey, never mind.
Hey!
Look at that.
Hey, speaking of those numbers in that image, yay.
Oh, that bottom number hurts my soul so badly.
Yeah, so Beetlejuice stayed in first, not like it was anything of a surprise. 51.3 million. Speak No Evil, the big winner for the new movies this weekend, 11.3 in second. Deadpool and Wolverine just doesn't want to go away. 5.2 million. Am I Racist? The Matt Walsh Daily Wire film in fourth with 4.5. Reagan in fifth with 2.9. And The Killer's Game was in sixth with 2.6. 3 new movies this week, and they were spread pretty well apart there. Also, of note, it seems like it's a really big, right-wing movie month, because you have Reagan that came out a few months ago, Am I Racist now, and God's Not Dead 4 opened up in 10th. So that's it's, I don't know what it is about September where all the
I mean, we're in election year. It's politics season, baby. Like there's I think there's another Dinesh movie coming out, which we've all been holding our breath for, I'm assuming.
Isn't there always one though? Isn't Dinesh like the new Michael Moore when it comes to like political movies being released on an election year?
I guess. And it's if he's the new Michael Moore, does that mean Matt Walsh is the new Sacha Baron Cohen? Like
well, kinda. There's a lot of comparisons to Borat. Yeah, I think you might be the expert here today, sir.
Oh, we will talk. Don't worry. Just give it a moment here. But do we want to start with that, or do we want to go with Speak No Evil here?
Well, in case Cody wants to join us, because we're gonna blaspheme his opinion. Go ahead and lead us off with
sure.
And Graveyard Key wants to know what the hell it is that we're talking about. So.
Oh yeah. Here, what am I doing here? I gotta
switch my face with yours.
Hey, Rosales.
Hey, Rosales.
Hey, yeah. Hi to the chat, everyone that's watching right now. Thanks for stopping by. Really appreciate you guys. What is this? I must be on another planet because what in the hell is I am a racist.
There you go.
Well, that means you have a healthier internet experience than I do in general, and you should be proud of that, my friend. But I am a racist is the
clip that.
Yeah, I know, right? That's
you might be saying that wrong. I think it is a question. I think it's am I racist?
Am I a
racist? I think you might have just implicated yourself, but
it's okay. There's so many weird clips of me on the internet right now. One more is not going to change anything. So if you're not in the know, the Daily Wire is really trying to make a go of making movies these days. And if you don't know what the Daily Wire is, it's how would you describe the Daily Wire? Sipo or Gray?
Go ahead, Gray. You got it.
I was just going to say, it seems like they're kind of a right-wing kind of production company now. They took on the news first. They went with a subsidiary that's like Bent Key, which is like children's programming. Yes. But they also had this kind of offshoot that's a bunch of films. And they had like that Run, Hide, Fight one, the Terror on the Prairie, and there was kind of a superhero one. They had different levels of production all kind of throughout those. But correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't this their first like real to theater directly?
Yes.
So it's kind of big that they made it to number 4 on the box office. With
plus they produced and distributed this. Things like Run, Hide, Fight was a movie that they just bought.
Yeah, already existed.
So this is a big step further.
Correct. And I believe the superhero movie you referred to, Gray, the Hyperions it's called, was the same way.
Yeah.
It was already made, and then they just swooped it up and probably rejiggered it a little bit and then released it.
Yeah, which it's kind of interesting. It's kind of like a Wes Anderson-y superhero thing. It's interesting. It's worth a view, but yeah, I got to be honest. I was kind of interested in this one because he had a previous one that wasn't a comedy, but this is, from all accounts that I hear, it's very Borat style.
He definitely is going for the Borat here. In that, for the first chunk of the movie, he's playing. It's almost like he's trying to do Borat 2 without doing Borat 1.
But he? Wait, I'm sorry. Doesn't he have like a Borat premise? Like this is what he did with What Is a Woman? Correct. All his movies are questions.
There's the question.
Yeah, sorry. I think Rosales mentioned that there was that Lady Ballers movie. I think they did somewhat of a release to that, but I think it was also streaming simultaneously. So I think this is their first like sold theater release. But Matt Walsh did play a similar character in that one.
No, I can turn my camera off just for a moment here. That's my mommy coming home. Hi, Mommy. I love you.
Your mic is still on.
I know. No, it's okay. You can clip that too, along with the other one. You know, if you're going to at least get me for 2 different audio things.
Right after the other one.
Actually, let me do.
Hi, Mommy.
Let me do one thing real quick. I'll be right back, guys.
Okay.
For sure. But the chat says hi. But yeah, they did kind of have a similar character that Matt Walsh played in that Lady Ballers thing, but it was totally played off as a joke. But it seems like he's kind of adopted that character as essentially his character in this thing.
The femme, like yoga guy, kind of, that thing?
Yeah, I mean, perhaps he doesn't still talk with that affectation, but it seems to be the same wig to me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's a slightly upgraded one, but seems similar. But I have not had the pleasure of seeing this one, unlike Lindsay. So
pleasure is a choice word, my friend. So yeah, I wasn't going to see this one. I know for years on Show Business, I was the propaganda guy.
I actually want to see it. I'm excited to see it. I just can't say that I made it a priority this last weekend. Unlike you, which is no, I'm just kidding.
Well, honestly, the only reason I saw it was because it made top 4. If it didn't make it into the top 5 like that, I would have just let this one completely slide. But if that many people are going to see it, I'm at least interested. I want to know what's
are officially the problem.
I am the problem. That's true.
Strange Darling could have had another $8, but you decided,
Excuse me, sir. First of all, it would have been $10, and I saw Strange Darlings twice. Okay, can you say you saw Strange Darlings twice?
Yes.
I don't. Oh,
I can. In a theater, I can't. But
well, I saw it in theaters twice.
I think I got at least 3 people to watch it. That's all I'll say.
I mean, that's not bad, honestly. Oh, and by the way, I love that. I looked it up. The Crow is not in theaters anymore,
It's
so
out.
it did.
It's on VOD.
So Strange Darlings won in the end. It made more money
Good.
this weekend than The Crow did.
Deserved.
All right, so racism. What do you got for racism?
Goddamn, man. Matt Walsh, his entire shtick is basically he gets himself in a room with very serious people, and he just kind of makes an ass of himself, and that embarrasses the people that he's interviewing, supposedly, and thus comedy ensues. I don't fully understand it. Like, I watched What Is a Woman, his other movie, and that basically felt like 2 hours of the most boring man on the planet. Because that's the other thing about Matt Walsh. No charisma. The camera hates him. It's insane how uninteresting he is to watch and listen to. But What Is a Woman was basically Matt Walsh just getting into a room with someone and then letting them talk. But then the moment they're done saying whatever there is going to say, he just says something supposedly snarky, and that means he's right and the person he's interviewing is wrong. Is basically the setup and payoff for literally every scene in What Is a Woman. And with that notoriety, he is now assuming that he's on the level of Borat with "I Am a Racist." And in the first bit in I Am a Racist, he gets called out for being Matt Walsh, and so he spends the rest of this movie in disguise, where the disguise is just like a bad wig and glasses and like a tweed coat. And it's actually kind of impressive. Like, imagine a Borat movie where almost like every other scene, the bit fails and he gets called out. It's like, oh, you're Borat, or oh, this is a thing for a movie. Okay, I see what's going on here. But they just leave it in the movie because they think it's embarrassing the people. It's a weird dichotomy. Like, I'm not going to pretend like I didn't chuckle a couple times. Like, when you're dropping snarky remarks like he is, like, sooner or later one or two will be funny. But the funniest moments of this movie were the people that he was supposedly dunking on him. And I'm not the only one who thought that. Every person in the theater I saw this with either had a MAGA hat or a Trump shirt on, and the people that he was interviewing got more laughs from that crowd than Matt Walsh himself did.
They could be laughing at them, though. You are a bit of a coastal elitist, to be fair.
Oh, no, I mean, you're definitely right. But like the moments that like it got the biggest laughs would be when someone stand up and just like, this is stupid, I'm out. It's the person saying like, I'm calling you out, Matt Walsh, is what got the laugh. Is that a dunk, or is that I don't know how to read it.
It's hard to discuss it because it could be done on purpose without knowing exactly what it is you're talking about. What?
Well, that's the other thing too, because one of the biggest sequences in this movie, like the final one right before it does the wrap up, there's a continuity error in it that is so massive. I'm 90% sure it reveals the entire scene was staged and scripted.
Oh, I would gamble that most of that is staged and scripted. I mean,
no, 100%.
The lady
this implies they shot it over several days as opposed to just like one. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
The lady ballers thing, they wanted it to be like a very similar thing where it was a documentary, but because people wouldn't do it, they had to like fabricate a bit. So they certainly are a bit, as far as creative is concerned, they're trying to grease the wheels however they can, which, I mean, it happens everywhere.
Oh, of course. And Borat does it. And Borat too, I'm certain they, during the famous Giuliani scene, they show like the same 5 seconds from two different angles to make it look like he's doing something longer than he's doing it. That's not to defend what he's doing, because that's creepy and he shouldn't be doing it, but you don't need to juice it. You know what I mean? Like, it's creepy. Well, you don't need to make it look creepier.
There's a difference between documentary and, comedy, which I would argue that this is probably a comedy. It's not a documentary. I wouldn't say Borat is a documentary.
True. Oh yeah, and Borat's a hard mockumentary, and this definitely wants to be a mockumentary. like again, like it does achieve comedy because, like, you know, like achieve comedy, like a comedy unlocked.
I'm glad they unlocked that. It would have been a tough road had they not done that,
right?
But,
and I guess and that, because I've definitely watched supposed comedy movies before that never made me laugh. So the fact that this got a couple laughs out of me, this isn't the worst comedy I've ever seen.
Plus, you're not the audience. Like, you said, it's all MAGA hats and Trump shirts.
Oh, that was what my screening was, right?
Okay.
Who knows what all the screenings are like.
So if I'm performing somewhere and it's just my relatives and 80% of them laugh, I did all right that night. That's all that matters to me. So if their own audience is laughing, then, you know, that's really all that matters.
But yeah, no, Cody, we're going for the taboo here. We're reviewing what's not allowed to be reviewed.
Wait,
oh, he's in the chat. If you need a link, by the way, Cody, we'll send it to you, buddy.
He has it.
No, he does. Okay, go.
Why are you not allowed to review it?
Oh, I mean, it's just the joke. Like if you hop on the Rotten
Jeremy
Tomatoes,
Johns.
Well, there's that, and we can definitely talk about that. But like, no actual critics have reviewed it so far. It's all just audience scores on Rotten Tomatoes. So I think that's like the running narrative they're trying to go with here. That like real critics. What's a real critic?
They didn't screen it for anybody.
Exactly. Well, I mean, who would you screen it for?
Critics. There's dozens, thousands of them at this point that I'm sure people would go just to.
So I haven't seen it, but supposedly there's like a gimmick or something that they were really hoping wouldn't get out, like a surprise of some kind. So I heard that as a reason why they're not putting screeners out there, because it had already been kind of spoiled who was in there and a lot of things that they hadn't reported themselves. So I don't know. It sounds like justification to me, but
maybe. There definitely is at least one person of like certain notoriety that's kind of impressive that they got in there. And her scene is like a train wreck because she's like calling him out and being like, "This is weird. Why are you doing this? This is weird. What's happening?" But then she also kind of goes along with it just to be like, "I don't know what's happening. I guess I'll do the thing you want me to do." But again, like, it's not quite that famous, but that's what I mean. Like in a case of like they're trying to dunk on people, but I don't really think they are. Like it's just like you're in an odd situation and you're already kind of committed to it. What do you do? Do you just get up and leave, or do you kind of see where it's going to go? I don't know. I will say again, it's not the worst Daily Wire movie I've seen. That definitely goes to Shut In or What Is a Woman, but this is.
Have you seen Lady Ballers? Because that is atrocious.
I tried to watch Lady Ballers. I got 5 minutes in and I turned it off. So I cannot say that I watched Lady Ballers.
Their freedom of speech company bleeps out their own curse.
No.
Yeah,
really?
There was an attempt. There were some attempts at jokes there. I think the finale really falls flat. I'm excited to see this one at some point, but yeah, I did not contribute to number 4 on this, unfortunately.
Well, my question is it going to stick around at all next week, or is it going to just fall off a cliff to like ninth place?
It's on 1,500 screens. That's no joke.
Nothing. That's not nothing.
Yeah, I think they were saying like it was supposed to open to 1,800 or something like that. So that's not bad. So I don't know. How was the reaction? You said that you saw it with a particular crowd. Did they seem to enjoy it?
That's the other thing. Like there was no like big like riotous laugh moments. It was mostly like or like little chuckles, kind of just like sparking up here and there. It's I just don't know.
So that could be the difference between somebody like Sacha Baron Cohen and Matt Walsh. What Matt Walsh may be funny to that audience, but Sacha Baron Cohen can take a funny moment and either lean into it or adapt it, and kind of accentuate, put an exclamation point on a situation, and kind of go where the humor is.
Well, Sacha Baron Cohen, again, he's got charisma. Matt Walsh is, hi, I'm Matt Walsh. I'm just going to talk here at this level and this cadence for the next hour and a half. Occasionally, there's going to be things you're supposed to laugh at, but I'm going to sound like this the entire time. I'm not going to change it up in any way, shape, or form.
A bad impression.
Thank you, sir.
You need a wig, but other than that, I think you're good.
A fuller beard, too.
He's got a nice beard. I'll give him that. He's bro's got a nice beard. I won't take that from him.
Give it a score.
I don't know, 1 out of 5.
Really? Are you 1 out of 5 because of your liberal elitist bullshit, or what?
Well, because like it's a comedy movie that gets at best a couple chuckles is definitely part of it, and then the other part of it is this is something he did in What Is a Woman, where he goes out and finds like, oh, so here, like in What Is a Woman, he goes to a tribe somewhere in South Africa, and it asks them their opinion on transgender people, and it's like. Mm-hmm. Okay, and in this it goes to like the deep south to like biker bars and stuff like that, and goes up to people and is like, hey, are you a racist? And the person says no while the camera's on them, and it's like, see, the South isn't racist. It's so strawmanny and so anecdotal and so like personalized while talking about like systemic issues that are much bigger than an individual random person in the deep South, that it just comes across as incredibly ingenuous. Again, it is kind of funny watching people figure out it's him in real time and then dunk on him, and the fact that they're dunking on him he finds funny, so there's entertainment value in that, but it just, for what it's trying to do, it just doesn't really work. And again, there's that continuity error in that big segment at the end that just proves that it's all staged.
How was the soundtrack?
Generic. There was a couple of fun kind of rap songs in it, I guess, that are kind of stuck in my head for like 5 minutes, but I actually can't think of any of them now, so I guess they weren't that catchy.
I'll admit I'm a bit more intrigued now than before. What is the thing with Jeremy Jahns now?
By the way, thank you, sir. This is one of my favorite shirts. Love you, Marcy. So Jeremy Jahns gave a relatively positive review of the movie, and sorry, my mom's messing with my lights, people. Come on, mother.
It's kind of cool.
I apologize. I do love you though, Mom. I said it again, guys. Clip it again. You got 2 different clips of it now. Internet.
I'll be sending you the PG&E bill.
That's fair.
I have to take the dogs out and come back, and I'm super sorry to interrupt you.
Oh no, you're totally fine.
It's on the screen. Switch.
Oh yeah, here, hold on, Mom. This is my friend Charles that I've known for like a decade.
Hi.
Nice
to meet you.
It has.
Nice to meet you as well. We're just doing this in front of an audience.
She actually can't hear you because of the headphones. But yeah. He says, "Nice to meet you."
Yes. So do our audience.
And
what were we saying? So Jeremy Jahns.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna
yes.
Pay attention to the show.
No.
You go ahead and leave if you need to.
Fine, you do you.
Well, great. Do you have anything else you want to throw in first? Because I feel like I've been talking
hasn't
a lot,
seen it.
I'm gonna see it eventually. Okay. I don't know. Some of the you're right. The rap song in the trailer. I believe it's the titular track, the Am I Racist?
Oh, is that what it is? That's funny.
I think that was the one that's in the trailer. I don't know. It seemed all right. There were a couple things that I didn't expect in there. It kind of caught me off guard. So I don't know. I'd kind of like to see the Daily Wire's take on Borat. I don't know if it's going to be up to par, but I'd like to see what they can do.
For better or for worse. But yeah, Jeremy Jahns' review though, I watched it. I thought it was pretty innocuous. He just kind of says like, I didn't expect Matt Walsh to make me laugh. Matt Walsh made me laugh. That's my review. It's
so a laugh only gets 1 star. Come on, man.
Well, how many laughs? I think it's for every 28 laughs. It's 1 star. So if you made me laugh like 56 times, it'd be 2 stars. But he couldn't quite get there.
So Cody says he barely reviewed it. There it is.
Yeah, I mean, he kept it fairly, I don't want to say, I guess professional is the way to do it. He just kind of came in and said, like, look, it made me laugh. What do you want? What do you want? And then he gave it a no alcohol required. So I guess by Jeremy Jahns' standards, that's like a B-, a C maybe. I don't. It's been a while since I've really watched that much Jeremy Jahns. What's his tierings? I can never quite remember.
Cody should know because Cody's a bootleg Jeremy Jahns.
Oh, wow! I did not say that. I want that on the record.
That was something that he was compared to early. I'm joshing him.
Low blow.
Also, thank you again, Marcy, and Mama Nonsense. I'm gonna start calling her that too, Dice. That is legitimately hilarious, actually. So
he didn't cover it that long then.
Yeah. No, it was just
kind of
Go ahead.
tight with his reviews anyway. So, and it's me again. So he's from what I remember, his stuff is quite choppy, and that's rich coming from me. It's
Wow.
tight and choppy. I don't know if he has a stammer, but I do. So I have my excuse.
Oh, Cody claps back.
Son of a-
And I gotta say, that was a thunderous clap. Bootleg Jay Moore.
But
Wow.
I keep saying this. What is this Jeremy John Blade thing? Did he say something weird during a Blade review 15 years ago? I don't remember.
Yeah, I
you got-
don't know. I've seen that. I don't know in the movie Blade, or I just don't understand what that means. Oh.
Oh,
Well, that's
Oh.
it was a different time.
yeah, that's a choice.
I'm assuming this wasn't for Wolverine Deadpool, but
Wow.
Yeah, oh yeah, everyone's
Okay.
coming out with it. Yeah, okay. Definitely. Ooh.
All right. Well,
We're through. I don't know why that.
I mean, it could work in context. I really think Robert Downey Jr. did awesome in Tropic Thunder. Like, it totally works for me.
yeah.
which came
I
out
don't know
after
the
Blade.
context in this. Yeah, so I don't know. But yeah, good luck explaining it.
Yeah, I don't think
Look.
my EJ probation is up yet, so I'm just gonna get my mouth shut.
In 14 years ago, we probably all made jokes we regret. You know, it's all good.
I'll make them in 10 minutes.
There you go. I'll make mine in 14 minutes because I'm going to stick with that motif of 14 for some reason.
All right, so 1 out of 5 stars. I'm going to watch it for a couple of other reasons, but I'm intrigued. I'm a bit more intrigued now than I was prior to this, but the fact that no
Same.
critics have seen it is frustrating.
A lot of the audience reviews seem to be pretty positive from what I saw. So yeah, I definitely want to see it. I need to make an effort, I suppose.
And I will say, I'd give some Daily Wire movies a 0 out of 5. So you know, the
Yeah.
fact that this got a 1.
Hey man,
You're being
sometimes
a
they
bit
have
brutal.
Carrie Elwes. Like that's pretty awesome.
I mean, I love me some Carrie L. Don't get me wrong.
Run, hide, fight was fine. It was fine.
Run, hide, fight is fine. I'm more talking about like Shut In and Terror on the Prairie. God damn. I mean,
Is that
The
the
one I didn't see.
the
Gina
one with-
Carano one.
Yeah.
the Gina, the GC. That movie is so bad it makes me think the person who did like the audio mastering on it never audio mastered anything before. Like there's moments in that movie where I can hear where like an audio clip ends and another begins. Like you can hear that, like you know what I'm talking about for
Yes.
those that
Yeah.
it's insane. They don't layer it. It's so child's first audio master. Anyway, I'm sure our
A half
audience
an hour
loves-
about talking
yeah.
about 4th place. Second place was
Speak
No Evil,
Yeah,
which is a remake of a 2022 Danish film,
yeah,
Title.
it is.
Speak No Evil.
Hmm.
Um,
How original.
Gray, I
Well,
think
this-
you were the first one to voice. Well, I think you were the first one to see it. So why don't you start talking for the first time this episode?
Sure. Hey, I'm Gray. Yeah,
What's up,
good
Gray?
times. So I really dig the original. So I kind of watched these in reverse order. I saw the new one and I was like, okay, that's okay. I guess I don't quite understand why they called it Speak No Evil. You know, maybe it's a little bit metaphoric. And then I saw the original and there's so many reasons why they're calling it that. I don't know. I can't help but feel that they really took the teeth and maybe other mouth appendages out of the original to make this remake.
Yes.
I have mixed feelings about it. Like McAvoy is awesome. Like this is one of his beefiest roles ever in multiple ways, and he does it a different way than the original. But man, that original just works on so many levels for me. It's it's near I don't know, kind of near Serbian film to me. Just like
That
the
high?
darkness of that original one. No, I'm just saying like it goes very dark places. And to me it really kind of makes sense and everything kind of works. And then to see that they followed so many aspects of it, but took out like a bunch of the subtlety and a bunch of, I don't know, I'd say the clues that it kind of gives you along the way. And then on top of that, they just seem to miss like a huge chunk of, I don't know, kind of the cultural reason why you couldn't just say no, why they're being polite, and the reason what actually led up to everything. I think you lose that in this remake, which is sad. I really like, all the actors in this one. I dig it. I don't dig a lot of the choices. To me, it really reminds me of Sporlos or The Vanishing. Like, it just seems like they just remade it, put in some Hollywood actors, and completely put on a Hollywood ending. To me, it just doesn't work. I'm not a big fan of the remake, but it's not a bad performance. It's just I kind of feel the same way about The Vanishing. Like, I don't hate Jeff Bridges in there, but it's not my favorite Jeff Bridges role, and quite frankly, it's nowhere near, I don't know, the impact of that original one. I think it misses a lot of, I think, cultural elements that really add to this whole era of politeness and these inability to actually like stand up for themselves, where I don't know, McAvoy is just, he's kind of aggressive from the beginning. It misses that whole kind of nuance, and then that whole twist. For me, it works so much better. And just I like the darkness, I like the bleakness. So I guess that's my kind of thing. They're both decent movies, but the remake to me just does not hold a candle. I don't know why we keep doing this, other than some people don't want to read the 30% of the movie, I guess.
Yeah.
And it is only 30% too. Like, I was surprised how much of it. I'll let you go in a second, Charles. But I was impressed by how much of it was actually in English. So that was a fun surprise. But go ahead, bud.
You're talking about the original.
The original, yes, the original.
Yeah.
The new one is all English.
Yeah, it's the original. The 2022 version is Danish, and it features a couple from Denmark and a couple from. Help. Where is it? Is it Netherlands?
I think it's the Netherlands.
I think they're Dutch. Dutch and Danish.
It's Dutch and Danes.
That's right.
Yes.
So, there's some things that I noticed as a pseudo resident of Denmark, that they have certain things that they do in society that just a little bit different than us. You know, the three things that I tried to learn before I went to Denmark was excuse me, sorry, thank you, and excuse me and sorry were things that I did not need to learn, because they don't have these social formalities that, like, if you bump into somebody, they don't say excuse me or sorry, because they know that you didn't mean it. So there's these, like, I don't want to call it American, because, you know, they do it in the UK too. There's this thing about, you know, making sure that the person you're with is, you know, feeling comfortable or something. And they're, for the most part, the first 2/3 of both movies are very similar. I would say that the 2024 version kind of takes the anxiety with social situations and puts it on the American characters, because in the 2024 version, it's the American couple and a British couple, and I think they're in Italy again for the beginning of the movie. There's something where the frustration between the married couple is there's something extra on there, and the daughter has an issue with social anxiety and having a teddy bear thing. But
which, fair enough, they do give more of an attachment to the teddy bear, where I don't know, have you ever tried to tell a kid, like, no, just forget that toy? Like,
yes,
I kind of get it, but this explains it a little bit more hardcore.
Right.
It's not just like a regular attachment.
In the Danish movie, it's gone. But in the American movie,
I remember my parents having to like drive back for toys when I was a kid, like stuff left at grandparents' house and stuff. I don't know. Like, it just sucks. Kids can be like that. So I kind of get it, but at the same time, I do like that. That seems to explain one element a lot better than the original.
But
I have a lot more that I think did it poorly. But sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Charles.
Go ahead, Lindsay.
I am like great, and I saw it in the reverse order because I'm just a silly boy. I saw the remake last night, and I squeezed in the original right now. I finished like watching right before we went live.
Nice.
And the thing that stuck out to me is something Grace said, how like it there's the family of weirdos is weirder earlier in the new one. And I think that does negatively affect the new one in a way. Like there's one scene in particular at the very beginning of both films that I want to draw attention to. So the opening is very similar. There's just a car driving in kind of an ominous way, and then it cuts to like a resort, a hotel somewhere in Europe, and people having fun by a pool. And so we're with the family, and there's a husband, there's a wife, there's a little girl, and then someone approaches them and says like, "Hey, is this chair available?" And in the original Danish version, they're like, "Oh yeah, of course, grab it." And so he's like, "Thank you very much." He picks it up and he leaves like a normal person. In the American version, he's like, "Hey, can I take this?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, no, of course." And he's like, "Thank you." And he grabs it and he drags it. It's like the scene in Men in Black where like he's pulling the table and there's like that sound the entire time, but it's like a deck chair.
Yeah,
which is awesome. That's he was commenting on how subtle the American one was, which agreed. But there's even like more to it. Like in the original, you can kind of see like the reluctance in the father's eyes, where he's wants to say no, but he can't. Like he is too polite to do that, so he takes the kid's stuff off of it and lets him just take the chair, even though he's using it. Just the kids in the pool. I don't know. I got a lot more of that.
You're right. They do need the chair. Thank you, Gray.
Well, the American version, they like mark their territory with the doll, and like there is this second glance, like, "Oh, but I've marked it." There, you know, my daughter's thing is on there. Which I mean, I can't tell you how many times in like a bus or a subway, someone's like put their bag on an empty seat, and it's like, "Come on, man, can I sit where your bag is, please?" But yeah. Go ahead, Graham. Sorry.
Sure. I just liked the performance. Now I'm forgetting the guy in the Danish version, but or Dutch version. Now I'm forgetting which one.
It's Danish.
But yeah, sorry, Danish. I liked the original actor there. I just felt kind of levels to that, where I believe Scoot is the actor in the remake, and I didn't quite get as many layers there. So I don't know. I like all the performances in the new one. They just seem to lack something. Like kind of.
McAvoy is a powerhouse, man. I don't know if this is quite like, oh, he should be up for awards for this, but he won't be because that's horror. But like, he's really going for it, man. And I've seen him
nominated. Yeah, never mind.
No. I want to hear you finish that thought, sir. You're banned from my channel forever.
And either of them from Strange Darling don't. I'm going to be very upset.
I agree with that. Wholeheartedly. Yeah, man, that's gonna hurt. But McAvoy, very good, very, very, very impressive performance. I also liked Mackenzie Davis of Terminator Dark Fate and Other Things fame. I thought she was quite good. I didn't think her character was as well written in the new one as it was in the original. Like, I don't know, because so there's in the new one, there's this whole subplot where the wife of the American is or was sexting someone at work, and like, you know, kind of emotionally cheating, if not fully physically cheating. But I don't think that was in the original in the slightest. No. Did I blink and miss it?
Not.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No, it's a weird reason to want to visit somebody because you're having troubles in your relationship. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong and I just haven't kind of experienced that. But like in the first one, it wasn't because they were having issues. Like they seem to have a pretty solid relationship. It was out of politeness. They felt that it would be, impolite to decline the offer.
Right.
Oh, and another interesting thing was, so in the original, when they pitch, "Hey, you guys should come visit us," the wife is like, "Oh yeah, that'd be fun." But in the new one, when they say it, it's like, "You should come visit us," and the husband's like, "Okay, yeah, no, that'd be fun." And then McAvoy stares like a gremlin at him for a minute. Good. It's like, these people are weird. Why would you ever go to a second location? Oh, yeah, go.
In the original one, when he meets him, he calls him a hero because he was able to track down the stuffed creature or whatever. So I don't know. It's playing into what he wants to hear. It's a lot more charming. So
Mhm.
I don't know. I think there's just a lot of kind of nuance and subtlety that's somewhat missed in this new one. It's a different take on it. But yeah, I guess I prefer the original.
I will say that there's a moment of betrayal that kind of really sells just how messed up the situation is between the American couple, and they're having their issues, and it comes up during there's this guilt trip from the British couple where they're like, oh, you're leaving, blah blah blah, and the American couple always seems to have some excuse for their leaving, and then that discussion comes up, and it's almost like, why did you tell them about our stupid problem? We don't know these people. And that was something I felt, considering it's new, I felt like it at least held its value there, because it was paid off to have a reason to be in the movie, and it was a dramatic moment. I just the third act really takes a left turn, and it's very American. Cody loves the American version, and does not
That makes
like.
sense.
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean,
there's a couple of other darker things that he hadn't seemed to be a fan of, so I can get that.
It's fair. I mean,
it's still somewhat of a dark ending, just nowhere near as dark as the original.
He's also not a fan of coffee tables, so that needs to be noted as well. So giant hurdle. But no, because there's subject matter in that he's not fond of. It's like people not liking when a pet suffers in a movie.
For sure.
And maybe I'm missing it then. Coffee table, or what do you
the same thing that happens to the boy happens.
Some traumatic things involving characters.
I am picking up what you're putting down now. Yeah, I wasn't quite expecting that in the original, especially after watching the new one. That was a bit of a actually, but here a positive thing. Let's be a little positive. I liked that the boy that was didn't have the tongue was more of a character in the remake than he was in the original. He was just kind of just there. I don't really remember him doing anything too particular, like a lot of the same beats, but then they managed to squeeze in him like trying to communicate or trying to send a message, but I guess he doesn't speak English, or English wasn't his native language or something like that. Did you know what language that was on the watch that he held up for them? Well, Danish. I mean, yeah, what was that Danish? Danish. That was Danish. Oh, cool. Okay, so they kept true to that. I don't know if that I still again prefer the original, but I always like kids doing kid things and going on adventures and figuring things out. So I like the kid, the boy and the girl teaming up is what I'm trying to say, I guess.
The boy has much more purpose in the American version. The problem is when you know what his motivation is, he really should be acting a bit more, forgive the terminology, more vocal earlier.
Boo.
Oh, I didn't have the term. I don't have the vocabulary.
You're good.
I mean, he would be very traumatized and everything. Like, there is a possibility that a lot of his performance, like for instance, when he's just shut down on the slide, not moving, when they try and introduce the kids together, I see layers to that performance that I like the original kid, but
sure. I mean, and it is a bit of a tremendous bummer. The original is very Danish, and it's just brutal. Happy endings don't happen. Eat shit.
Yeah, I was not ready for just how just bleak, and they're like, I don't know, should we get how specific we should get here, but they're just
the Danish one's been out, and I think it's on Prime. If you have Prime, you can watch it on the on the come.
Then in that case, just the fact that they're just chucking rocks at them and they're just eventually just it's just like,
well, they did an homage to the rocks. A rock makes an appearance in the new one.
Oh, I guess it's a couple in the background. Or was there a big rock moment in it that I forget?
Yeah. Kind of the very end. Ant, I believe his name is, not Abel.
Yes, you're right.
Oh yeah, that was a really weird twist on things. The bar owner, that was such a very American way to twist that. Like, what? Oh, okay. So there's another person that is
Well, who was it that was helping them in the original? Was that the bartender, or
wasn't.
was that or there was someone that came to the car
It
that
was
helped
the
cut the tongue out? Was it the babysitter?
yeah, the babysitter. Yeah,
Okay,
that
okay.
same guy. And I don't know, for me the babysitter thing kind of worked better in the original too, where it's like, you know, you think that you're all going out and then it turns out, oh, somebody's here to watch the kids. No, they're doing it. What, you're not okay with that? And then just their inability to be polite, or to be impolite, I should say. Like their need to be polite to go along with it. Same thing with the bill right after that.
I do think that I think you used the terminology, Gray, that it has less teeth, and it is. I mean, if it's supposed to be challenging art, if you don't want to go as far as the Danish version, that's fine. But
why make the movie then?
Listen, there's a scene where one of the children is in the other parent's room. In the Danish version, it's considerably different and a bit more extreme.
But it kind of makes sense. And like, I don't know, if you just found your kid in bed with another couple and like the husband's naked, like, oh wow, music started right as I said that.
Oh yeah, I thought I was going to do it quietly enough that no one would notice.
No, it's just like, wow, I don't think that was the time for a music drop. So it makes sense kind of why they're able to justify it and why they're still willing to stay there after this horrific thing that no parent wants to find kind of happens. Right. They brought it on themselves. They ignored their kid. So that whole thing, that whole sequence to me really makes sense. So it kind of starts with, that's right, guys, timing. So that whole sequence kind of starts with the husband, Patrick, coming in there and just really showing his dominance. The wife is taking a shower and he just needs to make it clear that he can do whatever he wants to do in his house. He will just go ahead and intrude where he wants to. And then that ends with, for some reason, I don't know if it's too embarrassed to tell her husband, but she never makes it aware to her partner, like exactly what just happened and why that is so freaky. And then he never makes her aware that after they start having, an intimate moment, that he also sees Patrick just staring at him through the window. There's this like inability to communicate because they want to be polite and they don't necessarily want to ruin it, but their kid's like crying out for them in that moment. And they decide to continue rather than go, actually like care for their child. So that's the excuse of why the child is in that bed. The other mother decided to grab the kid and comfort her when she's crying. That kind of makes sense to me, where in the newer one, I don't know, if I saw it go down the way that they have it in the remake, I don't know why the hell you wouldn't just get out of there. Kind also, of the same thing with a lot of the boundaries. Like he's just not willing to cross their boundaries. For me, McAvoy like forcing her to eat the meat is much different than how it came off in the original one. Yeah. It's really a politeness. It was little things like that just worked for me so much different. But I feel like I've monopolized the time. Charles.
I do feel like both of them pulled off the overall message of if you have an issue with something, you need to speak up. Both of them get that achieved rather well. It's the teeth in both of the movies is a little bit different. I do think that it's a commentary, less so in the American version, but it's a commentary on just what we do to be polite and just the amount we put up with. And I just my life motto: if you don't like something, tell them. Why would you suffer for the impression you're leaving with them when you're like, just why be phony? I hate the phoniness of,
I don't like you, Charles. I've never liked you.
I appreciate you being honest.
Yeah.
How American of you. No, it kind of makes sense. And that's, I think, why that American one works a little bit less for me. I don't see them just putting up with that. I think they would have spoken up a little bit sooner, where it kind of makes sense for me. But again, I'm a stand for the original one, apparently. So
right.
Yeah. I also think I think the big line of both movies works so much better in the original. And maybe I'm just making this up because when I watched the new one and McAvoy has the line, "I'm doing this because you let me." It was like, oh,
They both say that though.
No, but I think it hits harder in the original because like it's just you let me and that's it. Like there's no follow up, there's no further clarification. It's just you let me.
And there's the ultimate punishment for their politeness, where I mean they have a bad time. That's not a good weekend in the
terrible weekend.
remake, but I don't know that they got the punishment for the politeness.
Yeah, it is a bit heavy, the third act in the American version. Like they have very similar first 2/3, and then the third act they hit a fork in the road and they both take different directions.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what the exact moment is that they shift, because it's right after the dance sequence in the new one that the boy finally communicates to the girl, these aren't my parents and everything is fucked. But like that sequence happens in the original, and then they're all like are arguing and like, hey, this isn't how you do kids, this is how we do kids, like rah, 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 rah. But then they still hang out there for a few hours. I feel did you guys remember exactly what happened? I know I literally just watched it, but like it feels like it kind of glances over like a time skip after that. Was there something I'm forgetting?
I know there is a flat tire at one point, but yeah, I can't remember the exact reason in the remake. I am kind of drawing a blank there.
It's fine.
Yeah,
I agree with you. I think in the American one, an American would have said like, "What the hell is this?" and gotten out of there so much sooner. But
and the wife and the daughter are a bit more sensitive in the American version.
For sure, and they're like stockpiling weapons and stuff too, which is kind of cool.
Oh, I did like there's one thing I did legitimately love in the new one was kind of when it becomes like a little bit of a Home Alone thing, and they try to do the Molotov cocktail, and they completely fail at breaking the Molotov cocktail on the thatched roof, so it just rolls off and sets the car on fire instead. I thought that was pretty funny. Because like these guys don't know what they're doing. They've never Molotov cocktailed anything before. They don't know, like it was fun.
Do you think that, like, I understand how certain people feel about certain movies and preferring one or the other, and some people don't want to see, I don't know, Corvettes in their movies, and they'll be vehemently against one if there is a Corvette in the movie. But
that's right. Sorry, Ben Grimm mentioned he got drunk and needed to wait it out before driving. I totally forgot about that.
Oh.
Making the coffee. I do remember that now. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Indeed. Thanks.
Sorry for cutting you off, Charles. That just clicked in my head. I don't
remember what I was saying.
Apologize for derailing. I am so sorry.
No, it's fine.
Okay. Well, this will not jog your memory, but can I ask you a question?
No.
I'm
not being polite,
reasons...
damn it. No.
Okay. Well, then fair enough.
Good.
I'm going to ask anyway, because I'm also not polite. But I see so many reasons why the original was called Speak No Evil. Do you see reason why the remake is called that? Like it seems to work on.
It's catchy.
Okay, so he's the only one that doesn't speak evil.
The trailer is all about this shot right here.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like,
I'm with you.
I feel like they took the teeth out of this a lot, and I think there was many more reasons why it was other appendages as well. Just there's more reason than just that of why it's called Speak No Evil. Like it has to do with, again, that politeness. They're not willing to actually like vocalize this is wrong. We need to get the hell out of here. There
is the politeness in the American version too. They're trying not to I don't know, insult the people that they're staying with, because it's their place.
I agree with you. What about now I'm forgetting the father's name, but when he finds Abel in his final form, if you will, and Bjorn, thank you. His inability to say anything to his family, just we need to get out of here, just silent. He will not speak the evil. I don't see the characters doing that in this new one. I see them communicating just how bad this situation is and that they need to get out of there. They're just not doing it. I don't know. For me, it feels like they missed some of the meaning, but again, maybe I'm bad.
So is there some sort of inherent thing when it comes to customs and, what one culture does with another? Like, is this something that you could port and have it be distinctly American? Because I feel like there are certain things that you just can't translate. Again, as somebody who's been in Denmark, I learned "excuse me," and I was so insulted when somebody bumped into me and then just kept walking. I'm like, "What the fucker?" But it's just part of their culture. They don't they have this mentality like, of course you didn't mean to. What kind of human being would purposely bump into someone? And it's like, I'm American. I don't know how to take that. You people and your free healthcare.
Yeah, that's a good point. You definitely get a different character. I don't think you'd have them like as strong and as willing to kind of fight back, if you will. I think that's what kind of works about the original for me. It does feel like they are taking kind of the culture into consideration, where I feel like it's only kind of half taken into consideration that first one. Like, I don't think you'd let this many things happen if you're willing to go that far to fight back, but maybe I'm wrong.
But in the American version, they do have these like minor guilt trip things, like when the British mother character is talking about how her reasoning for wanting to help with the daughter is a bit more of a guilt trip.
Okay. Yeah, I do agree with the guilt trip thing, but what about, say, the doctor line or whatever? They seem to rather really change that.
It wasn't a psych
seems
out.
to have a lot of seems to have a lot of teeth to it, and then like, would you stay there if the person, I think one scenario is like, okay, I don't know if I can trust this person, but perhaps they're joking around. The other one is like, I cannot trust this person. Like, I don't know. It just, I just like the original a lot more. It feels like it's been kind of nerfed so many ways in this new one.
So wait, I meant to bring that up actually. What did they do the psych out and be like, oh no, I'm kidding, I am a doctor, don't worry, or was it just no, I'm not a doctor, and then it just never came back again in the original?
It never comes back.
That's yeah. Damn, that's a lot cooler than haha, played a joke on you.
But it is part of McAvoy's character in this new, like he's made jokes over the top. Like when they're at the dinner, the same Danish cooking thing happens where guy talking about his recipes at the vacation home. He says, "Do you want to come join us?" And the American couple's like, "Wait, what the? No, we don't want that." But he's just constantly over the top with his aggressive humor. So it does fall in with his character as far as the new one is concerned.
That's fair.
There's some dark humor in the original that might not be visible upon first watch. Like, if you know what's going to happen, they really do. A lot of the lines are kind of foreboding and do kind of happen later in a certain way, like where they mention or perhaps don't happen. I know they mentioned like, you're with your parents now, you're safe. There's like 4 other ones that seem to be kind of alluding to what's actually going to happen ultimately in the end. Where I didn't get that with the McAvoy thing. Like, it is kind of a humor if you go back to it. Like, it's ironic that they're using these particular lines considering the ultimate fate, but I don't think that irony exists in the new one. It's kind of more straight up comedy from McAvoy, which fair enough. I know in the comments somebody said that was their favorite part, which is awesome.
Which was your favorite part? Sorry,
McAvoy and his humor, which fair enough. It was definitely more straightforward. I just think there's like a darker, kind of more meta humor, if you will, in the original.
I can see that. It was also subtler, but everything was more subtle.
But so try to forget the original.
No.
Can you make this American version and have it be something that you feel like it's necessary?
I didn't hate it. So I watched them in reverse order. I didn't hate the American one, but once I saw the original, it's like, oh man, they missed so much of what should be there. If you're trying to be faithful to it, I don't know. I just think the American sensibility is like you would speak up before the end. Like I think it does kind of work that way. Maybe you could do it in some sort of like super polite, stereotypical way, but I don't know. I just don't see it being.
You make the true Civil War movie. You make it with a blue state and a red state family staying together at like an Airbnb or something. And I mean, if Civil War didn't do it, don't mention what their politics are, and just have it be two American families that are from different parts of the country. And
that'd be interesting.
I mean, shit, we're a freaking tinderbox right now. Why have the European element in there?
Because Europe is fancy.
Is it?
Well, one thing I loved in the original was the obnoxious Dutch family or whatever that was like talking about. We learned how to roll gnocchi, like the way that they pronounce gnocchi. I was just like, oh, that's so pretentious. I love it. That was amazing.
I was kind of looking forward to the gnocchi class. Yeah.
Right?
Sounds fun.
It's a weird thing. Like, I get it. You want Hollywood is all about making money, especially at Blumhouse. Like, every now and again, Blumhouse does turn out legitimately good things. Whiplash, Insidious, Sinister, Invisible Man, Get Out. Like, they've definitely made legitimately good movies. But then there's other times where it's like the assembly line nature of the studio. It just
Careful. Distributed.
Oh, did they not make all those movies, or are they just a distributor? Hold on, am I?
They made some of them. There's some. Right. I don't think they produced Whiplash.
It's that would make sense. Model.
Oh, but yeah, but
cheap, still cheaper.
But I do. It's almost like you should have just like
you could make one that has more teeth,
and then like just done your own thing. I feel like instead of like staying so close, like some scenes are literally like line for line. Again, maybe it's just like a personal thing, but just like the fact that like the moment we meet McAvoy, it's obvious that there's something wrong with this guy and this family should not have anything to do with them. Whereas in the original, like the first we see them at the dinner and they're like giving like a cute little speech and like talking to everyone. And I think in the original, like, well, what do you think is like the first moment, like they're being kind of creepy? Is it when their son's crying in bed and they're ignoring it? Or is it the, oh, we killed a boar thing, eat this boar meat, vegetarian? Like
to me, it's kind of, well, even their dinner, like the first time, like in Italy, but fair enough. That's where you'd draw the line. Like I would have thought they were weird meeting them in Italy, but maybe that's just me. They just need a bit off.
Well, it's like the question of breaking bad. When does he break bad? When does this family break weird? And they're too weird to be around.
I like the subtlety of the performance. Like, like when she mentions that she's vegetarian and then the guy totally takes note of it. But the first thing they do when they show up is you've got to put this meat in your mouth right now. Like, just do it. I've been spending all day on it. As Marcy points out, which again, so generous, Marcy. But as a Dane myself, I could relate. So as a Dane myself, I could relate to that awkward politeness in the original. I preferred the acting in the new one and the dialogue, but the story of the OG. Fair enough. That's respectable. I do like all the performances in the new one. They're just different performances.
Yeah.
Like it does feel like a different character for sure.
There's tremendous cultural differences between Denmark and America. In America, we lock our doors. We have our shutters shut. Like they don't have drapes on their windows everywhere. It's just look right into the house. That's I don't know if that's exclusively a Denmark thing, but it might be very European. But we are so personal and shut in as Americans. It's extremely different in that. I'll say that side of the world. You make it have teeth by doing my idea, a blue and a red family, and have it be that they're projecting things, and one of the families is actually what their worst fears are, or shoot two endings and have both endings be different for both families.
Clue it.
I don't know if America would be all right with that. I don't know if we could handle jokes right now.
Well, I mean, Matt Walsh just came in fourth place at the box office, so some jokes are definitely going okay, you know.
Looks like America is champing at the bit for jokes right now.
I do love how like all the people on Twitter they're just like, yeah, fourth place. It's like that meme where the guy's like spraying himself with champagne. He's in third place at the Olympics.
I mean, if I ever make a movie, I would be happy to come in fourth. I'm sure. Blumhouse is very happy to be coming in too, especially when Wolverine and Deadpool is still out there.
Yeah, it's 8th weekend and it's still in the top 4. I love that. Like, it's
got legs.
Yeah.
There's
on its way
something
back.
There's something that like I kind of get frustrated with, and this is just like a publicity thing. They'll talk about their Rotten Tomatoes score, or they'll talk about this. And this week it's, hey, we're in 4th place. Oh, how many critics have seen it? 0. Oh,
well, yeah. I mean, all the world's a critic. Come on.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, it's PR, right? Like you brag about what you can. Don't worry about the fact that critics haven't seen it. Have you seen our scores?
Sorry,
we're getting there, Marcy. We're getting there. I don't know. I would be fascinated to see like what like an actual like Rotten Tomato score for Am I a Racist would be, like, just for like the novelty of it. Is there a Cinescore out for it yet? Is there like anything?
If there's no Rotten Tomato score, there's no Cinescore. Like, who have they screened it for that they didn't put? I mean, unless their embargo is after release day.
That's a good point, actually. Let me see if I can pull up anything.
Critics
here.
will end up
Vamp
seeing
for a
it.
minute. Will they? No.
Vamp. I'm Dracula, also known as the best vamp there ever was.
Oh, that's how. That's how you're vamping, by talking. Here's an interesting quote. Tatiana Siegel for Variety said that the film is either hilarious or offensive, depending on which side of the MAGA fence you sit on. Okay.
See, like, to be fair, I don't want to hear Hollywood critics and what they think is offensive. I'm. This is one where it's just like, I don't know if I trust you. Let me handle this.
Well, it does have 99% according to the popcorn meter out of 500 verified ratings. There is no tomato meter, but popcorn meter. Come on.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything like directly offensive in it, but like he's just kind of just being a nuisance to a lot of people. And the funny thing is, like, they spent so much money hiring all these like people to do these like engagements and like talks and like meetings for him to come and like be a jackass at. Like, and they do a count of it. Like, this lady cost us $50,000. This lady cost us $15,000. It's like, okay, thanks for telling us where your budget's going. But it's just like people like trying to have like a real discussion or a conversation, and Matt Walsh is just like, I feel all the guilt and all the shame and everything that you want me to feel, and I'm just like, I don't know. I just don't get the humor, I guess.
Are you a fan of mockumentaries in general?
I can be, yeah. Oh yeah. No, what's a mockumentary that I love?
I mean, who hates Spinal Tap?
Oh, Spinal Tap's amazing. All those movies that those guys make are great. They made another mockumentary, didn't they? What was the other one they did?
A ton of them, like Best in Show, A Mighty Wind, all of
Mighty
those.
Wind.
Yeah, the Christopher Guest ones are all awesome.
Waiting for Guffman, one of my all-time favorite movies. Like, I adore that film.
A comedy to DEI 4.
Okay, that's kind of clever in a very stupid, punny way.
Is that like the poster, like tagline? Oh God!
So there's 231 5-star ratings and 322 lowest score ratings.
Okay.
So it averages out to Popcorn Fresh, whatever.
No, this is Letterboxd. Letterboxd is a bit more
honest.
But less honest. I would demote the 5-star and the half-star, and then it's close to 3.5 if you average everything else out, which is pretty fucking good.
Oh, I forgot about Bruno. Bruno's a lot of fun, actually. I mean, obviously, like Borat as
a
well.
less good
like,
one.
Yeah, I don't like Bruno as much, but I appreciate it. I just Borat
well, you know
was
who I
more
appreciate.
Oh,
Enough of this
Jazz.
bullshit. I've had it.
Finally, the actual show begins. Welcome.
I was doing laundry. I literally have no idea what the fuck you guys were talking about for the last 45 minutes. So.
Oh, all we've been doing is just ragging on, a movie that you might have appreciated a little bit more than us.
Nefarious?
Yeah, that whole. Yeah, that's the one.
That's 100%. That's the one.
So, Cody, I
Yes.
said a reason I think you might have been against the original
Speak no evil. Okay.
is due to
No, the original Am I a Racist? Because this is actually a remake of a 1988 documentary.
So
Yeah.
is the coffee table element of it, is that one of the big things that is a hurdle for you?
That's a large part of it. I mean, I just found that movie so miserable to watch. Like, and that's the intention. That's what makes that film so difficult to talk about. Because anytime you say I didn't enjoy it, they're like, we're not supposed to enjoy it. I'm like, no shit. But you know, it's a movie that is literally trying to put you and the main characters in as many situations as possible where you're just sitting there screaming at the TV like, get the fuck out! What are you doing? Get the fuck that bunny rabbit, leave. And so it didn't provide an experience that I valued at all. I'm not going to say it didn't entertain me, because again, you go, it's not supposed to entertain you. It's a movie that is trying to convey, you know, I think part of it is actually like it pertains to the country of the protagonist, some kind of commentary on how a lot of people in that country are like overly nice or something. So I can't really comment on that, but what I got out of it is a lot of like society's complacence and, you know, putting social interactions and being nice and the other person's feelings over your emotional gut reactions. And I get what they were doing with that. I think they did a great job with it, but all throughout the movie, I was just increasingly more pissed off at the protagonist, especially the father. Ultimately all culminating in how that movie decides to wrap up, which is just like it intentionally stomach churning, but that's the one thing.
Your mic is doing a little thing.
All of a sudden, we got kind of.
I was like, was that me? What's happening?
Yeah, it's doing.
Is it still doing it?
Yes.
Yeah, apparently. Oh, that sucks.
Oh, Cody.
Let me restart my system. I'll be right
Amateur
The
shit.
voice of reason.
Totally.
back. I'll be right back.
We'll be waiting
See you in a
with
second, bud.
bated breath or whatever. I completely agree with what he's saying. Yeah, I definitely don't want to put words in his mouth, but
Jacob.
Oh, yeah.
I think
Right on.
Jacob is the man. Jacob, way too nice.
You're the best, Jacob.
But yeah, it just I don't know.
Don't. I appreciate it, but do not go to my channel just to talk. Please, we're trying. Get the thing back up, please.
Oh, which one? This one?
Lindsay, the
No,
thing.
the overlay.
The other thing.
I appreciate
the Lindsay
it.
thing.
I really appreciate it, but we're trying to get this man his watch hours up.
I love you guys. Thank you for fighting for me. Woo!
Yes, there it is.
Watch
Put
his
my face
hours.
down there.
Watch up. No,
See?
oh, that works.
Yeah, see.
There's
There's a link in my description. Jacob, you're awesome. I really appreciate it. Please, if you're already watching this, you can comment on Lindsay's. We're all seeing it over here anyway. So,
Oh, and
thank you.
also, in case there's one person who's watching from my channel, I put the link in the description for Charles and Gray's channel, and I'll drop a link for Cody in there as well, just on the off chance.
I think Cody would really appreciate that. He could use the boost.
We all could use a little,
Yeah, very much appreciated. Sincerely. It in other instances, right on, woohoo. But please take the membership, say thank you, and head over to Lindsay's channel and finish the conversation there. We could see you there. There's no sort of priority. It's all being dumped in the same side chat thing. So
that being said, you're awesome. It looks
indeed.
like apparently it gave me one of those memberships. So damn, thank you, Jacob.
Woo, that's sick.
Nice. Okay, so
Yeah.
I forgot what to say.
You're gonna mention how amazing.
Yeah.
Lindsay
We're
is
gonna
for
have
some
to.
reason.
We're gonna
I'm
have to
incredible.
get the producer credit for Jacob just
Again,
on the month
just
of September, I think.
yeah, that makes sense. I think deserved for sure.
100% deserved.
I will try to
Membership
use it wisely. It's a lot of pressure. What can I say? I take full responsibility for this.
Gray's gonna sell it on the black market. Coey's got.
I think you went a
audio
little bit more in depth,
Yeah,
but still.
Well, while waiting for Cody, any other little things? Anybody watch anything worth throwing out there? You see anything new, Gray, that you had fun with?
I happen to watch the one that I can't remember the name of. The Killers game, the Dave Bautista one or whatever. I think it came in at like number 10 or something. Not great, not horrible. If you're looking for kind of a schlocky action comedy, yeah, it kind of fits the bill. But yeah, not
great.
the,
I'm just kidding.
Cool. Well, we can hear you perfectly now. So please, I think if you remember where you were at, you were somewhat talking about kind of the tone and the politeness of kind of that original one.
Yeah. So like I get what the movie's going for, and they do a good job at like continuously hammering that point home all the way to the final moments of the movie. But unfortunately, what the movie culminates in is possibly the only thing that can trigger me emotionally when I watch a film. Like some people can't watch SA scenes, some people can't handle a certain level of gore, some people it's abuse towards women or kids or whatever. Like for me, it's something like that happening, especially to the complete negligence of the parents, where they're just like helplessly sitting there watching it happen. And so like it was a movie that infuriated me. And so I can't really say anything against it from a critical standpoint. Like I think they did a very good job with it. I think everybody does, but it's just a movie that I hated watching, and I would never rewatch it. And I'd be extremely selective about who I recommended it to.
Fair.
So
it's dark. It is really dark.
Very much so.
I think that's the reason why I kind of like it. It really goes hardcore into that politeness thing that like it is due to because you let me. Like, why did I do all these things? And man, like it just goes so hard to the point where I understand why that one's called Speak No Evil. Like the parents were Bjorn, and now I can't remember the wife's name, were just so unwilling to like speak of any of this evil that they saw going on. Like it works on multiple levels within this, where I feel like in the remake, they are willing to call out like this is horrible, but then they're sticking around for some reason. Like I don't know why. If they're willing to stand up and do what they do in the third act, why would they let so much of it go? Like I get definitely your preference. Like it's not as dark, and man, McAvoy does like an awesome performance. But I think I love the way that it fits in with that title, and just like the bigger meaning once you're kind of through that experience.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing that I can take away from somebody who prefers the original for all the reasons that you just listed, plus all the reasons that I've seen over the last week in the comment section. Like, if you dig what they're doing and it doesn't bother you on the level that it bothered me, there's nothing I could say against it. Like, you're right. But just for me, because it's a movie that I can't enjoy the experience in any level, I was very skeptical.
You're supposed to.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's kind of said something about you if you really enjoy it, but
you know what I mean? Like, it's just, you have to enjoy the experience of watching the movie to some extent. Like, you have to value your experience, put it that way. So I was very skeptical about this remake for the same reasons that everybody else was. It's like, Jesus Christ, like when they announced it, the movie was like 8 months old. And I was like, okay, usually foreign movies getting made into an American remake, I understand. Again,
yeah,
I shouldn't have talked, man. I should have just let you talk. It was going great. I will not jump in ever again.
I don't know why it does that. It's only done that one time before on Vince DeSantis' channel, and I could not figure out why.
Oh, weird. I wonder if I've got some setting on. Yeah.
When you're quiet, it's fine, and then only like it's like a underlying thing when you talk. It's got like his.
Is it still doing it?
Yes.
It's got worse there, actually. It might be some setting on your soundboard.
I mean, the settings are always the same. That's the part that's confusing.
Oh, are they? Oh, okay. Well, never mind then.
That's why
somebody
audio
else talk, and I'll fuck around for a second.
So I get what you mean about like appreciating a movie while not enjoying watching it. Like a few years ago, what was it called? Manchester by the Sea was one of the most miserable movies I've ever watched in my life. But I do
dark.
like appreciate like what it's trying to do. I absolutely hated watching it though, and I will never watch that movie again. Even though I love what's her name that was in it that played the ex-wife. Who was also in Venom. I can't think of her name right now. That happens sometimes, man. You know, art is complicated. Not everything is meant to be watched 100,000 times. Sometimes, like Saving Private Ryan. How many times have we all watched Saving Private Ryan?
20.
5,000.
Is that any better?
Oh, unfortunately, no.
No, not really.
But I know what you mean. Like, there's movies that you can't just keep watching over and over again.
So the audio is not going to be very good because this is my laptop microphone, but at least it's not going to be dog shit.
Better than I would have expected. It's not crackling.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know what the fuck the deal with that is. Last time I shut everything down and then it was fine. The old turn it off and turn it back on again. Anyway. But yeah, I was skeptical of it for the same reasons. Usually I'm a big champion of American remakes because I sympathize with the people that don't want to watch a movie with subtitles because I used to be that person. And I think it's a shame.
Still are.
Oh, fuck off. I probably watch more foreign films than you do now. Anyway, not all of them have SA and everything in them, so it's a totally different genre.
Matter, but... And it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's not a real foreign film. Fuck out of here. But I think it's a shame when that chunk of people, for what I would call an understandable reason, don't get to experience a story. So I like American remakes, but this one just felt cynical. Then you had Blumhouse on there, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna be like totally studio sanitized as fuck. And I was really surprised by it because I think it holds on to most of what makes the original memorable, short of the third act. But what Gray was talking about how they fight back a little more, they speak up a little bit more, yet they stick around. Like, I actually found it more believable in this version because of the way that they kind of expanded the conversations a bit, and mostly because of James McAvoy's performance, because he's very creepy, but he's very charming too. And you're like, fuck, I like whenever they get to the like the scene that infuriated me so much in the original where they go back for that fucking stuffed rabbit. In this one, I understood more about why, because they give you more context to why this girl needs this bunny rabbit. Otherwise, there's going to be hell to pay. And
I thought that was a good expansion on that for sure.
I agree. And so then whenever they get back to the house, though, the conversation goes a little differently. And for me, the performance of James McAvoy, where he's kind of holding back tears in his pain that they would do that, and kind of like being confused and concerned, and then the narrative that his wife says about how they lost their child and the way that he reacts with her, I'm like, fuck, man, I probably would stick around after that. Like, I would feel like an asshole.
He's ultra charismatic in this movie.
Yes,
it's a different take on that character for sure. It's way more physical, but definitely he has that beefy McAvoy charm.
Yes. This one really played up a couple of the relationships. I don't know if you saw it or not, Cody, but I really liked how like the boy and the girl were like kind of teaming up to solve this. I really dug that, and I also really believe the relationship between McAvoy and, I can't think of the actor's name, but the dad and Scoot. Yeah, that's it. Sorry. Yeah. The McAvoy and Scoot, like that scene where they're yelling together was it kind of hit me harder than it did in the original. Not that it didn't hit me harder in the original, but just like the connection the two of them had and the way that they're kind of holding on to each other as they're screaming. It's like, okay, this is a total bro moment. I have been there. That makes sense to me. I think it would have been nice if they kind of let the two moms kind of have a little more screen time to kind of make a connection too. But I did appreciate that they like the new one is 13 minutes longer, 15 minutes longer, or something like that. I do appreciate that they use that time to develop relationships as opposed to just throwing in scary stuff for the sake of scary stuff. That was a good choice, I thought.
Yeah.
That's just me though.
You're right, Cody.
Oh, he's figuring stuff out.
I think he's doing tech issues.
Yeah, I just it seems like Americans, you could say this about a lot of things, like Old Boy, fucked up ending. American remake, it's still fucked up, but it's still neutered somehow.
Isn't the remake a Spike Lee joint too?
Yes, it is.
It is. Yeah.
It's perhaps one of his, if not his worst film. Good Night Mommy, which I only saw this year, the 2014 version, abysmally dark German, not German, Austrian German language film, and the American, which came out. Good night, and the American, which came out on Amazon recently, it just loses so much punch, and I don't know why. It's not that I'm upset, and like you have a point, Cody. There's these movies where it's not entertaining as much as it's challenging, and who would say that they like these movies? Of course, but why even go to the length of remaking it if you're not going to use the same spine?
I'm back now, by the way. For some reason, my audio dropped out of my ears. I was like, what the fuck now?
Oh, no.
Anyway.
Well, you sound good from this point.
For me, this movie is just a nice an alternate choice. And like when you get to the third act and things go in a very different direction, I feel like they're kind of damned if they do, they're damned if they don't. If they made a shot-for-shot remake, everybody would be like, what the fuck is the point of this? The other one exists. And they'd have a point of that. But then they change things, and you get just as many people that are like, why the fuck did they change this? The original was just... And so no matter what they do, they're kind of screwed. But what I liked is that, again, more for an American audience, admittedly, they put more action and like a siege movie flavor into it. It's very Straw Dogs, Last House on the Left kind of vibe in the last 30 minutes. And I still wish they would have gone a little harder. I wish that when the revenge and everything was happening, it was a little bloodier, a little more carnage. So that kind of leaned a little bit into the Blumhouse sanitization for me that I was a little frustrated with.
Cody, did you hear my proposal?
I did not. Everything, yeah.
So
you guys are getting married?
Here's my proposal. American remake.
He hasn't accepted yet.
Forget the British. Just two American couples. One's from a blue state. One's from a red state. Mm-hmm. That is the conflict within them.
That'd be very interesting. I feel like that'd be one of those movies that would get like all of this controversy before it came out and be like, it's directed by a right winger. And then people would actually watch it and they'd be like, oh no, it makes both sides look like fucking idiots. That's refreshing.
Civil War too.
Yeah, exactly. or like The Hunt. Oh
yeah, I love
like
The Hunt.
That.
Yeah. But what I think this movie does that I appreciate, and I think that like I totally understand people that would much prefer the original. And I understand people that would prefer this American remake, but what I like is that it's a nice little alternate. So if one doesn't work for you, you have the other. If you watch this and you think it's kind of tame and you've never seen the original, cool, go check out that one because it's probably going to be much to your liking. And then same with people like me. If you watch the original and it's like, fuck, dude, that's too much. You watch this one and it's like, oh shit, I could actually rewatch this and I could recommend this to a few people. So I just like the like kind of the alternate path you can take there. What I haven't liked is seeing a lot of people that they talk down on those that kind of appreciate the remake more for whatever reason. And it's just like, oh, of course you got to have the sanitized version, or, oh, you just didn't understand the original. And it's like, you have to do this every fucking time. And so that's where the only annoying conversation I've had over the last week has been. But it's one of those remakes to me that I appreciate the fact that it exists. I think it merits its existence because it offers something a little different and a nice little change of pace from the original, while not completely losing, in my opinion, not completely losing the appeal of the original.
Also, the new one has Cotton Eye Joe in it, and that's an automatic like 15 points. Right there. That's just a song.
Yeah,
I did think the kid dance sequence worked a little bit better in the remake as well.
I agree. Yeah.
Was he trying to signal them? Because it seemed like his hand movements were that of what you needed to do to open. I think that's third act. His dance moves were that of what you needed to do to find information out.
Oh, interesting.
Or am I just?
I didn't pick up on that, but I'd have to watch it again. I'll tell you one thing that I really didn't like about it, though, is that it felt like they. I liked the fact that Mackenzie Davis's character was very much like outspoken, like what the fuck is going on here? Like this isn't cool. Yeah. But her husband all throughout the movie is like a what they call a cuck. And like, even reinforced by the little subplot there where it's like, I found a dick on your phone. And I kept thinking, like, okay, they're going to build this up to where at the third act, he's going to kick ass. Like, he's going to have that nice little, arc, if you will. And then it never came. Like, in the third act, he's like a fucking dope Looney Tunes character. And I'm like, really? And so that was the spot where, like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, here we go. I can see all the girl boss comments coming now. And I just wish they would have done something different with him. Like, at least let him kill McAvoy or something. Like, every opportunity he had to, like, actually have his balls drop in the third act, he just fucking fumbled it. Like, he goes to hit the guy with the hammer and like falls over. I was like, Jesus Christ, man, what are you doing? So that was the one element I really didn't like.
I kind of like that the kid got the kill, but there's something about that last line that it has. It's like, that a boy, just like, maybe it's not a good thing the kid got the kill. I don't know how I feel now. Also, I just want to give a quick shout out. Mark Burns, thank you very much. No one saw the original. I did by streaming in 2023. What? Sorry,
we have. We've all seen the original. I don't know if that was the question. Was
I'm not too sure.
Back in the day.
Yeah. I was going to try and clarify that, but I think you're right. But either way, thank you very much, Mark. Great. You're the best. Everyone watching is the best, and everyone on the stream is the best. Love all you guys.
Fair enough. And I guess Mark found the original ending shocking but lackluster. Fair enough. I think for me, it worked on like a few different levels. Like, it really kind of emphasized the title of everything, just the inability to like actually speak of any of the evil that happens. Where I'm not quite getting that on the layers of this new one. But that being said, I really dig all the reasons why Cody's saying that he appreciates it more. Like, that makes a lot of sense. Out of all of those kind of like Dutch remakes or whatever, like I'm thinking like Spurlos, like The Vanishing, and there's a couple other ones. I think that vampire one was also Dutch originally.
Don't Let Me In or Let the Right One
In? I think that's the
Swedish.
One.
Swedish.
Swedish. You're totally right. That's my bad. I dig this one, the Americanization of it, the most. It does seem like it still works on its own. I did see them in reverse order, and I really liked it until I kind of saw the original, and then it's like, oh, I like that more. Like, that seems to have teeth. But out of all of those kind of remakes for American audiences, I think this one holds strong. Like, it definitely it works as a piece. Where I think, especially I'm looking at kind of The Vanishing, I can see why that one's not a classic where the original is.
Do you think that the take home of either movie is different? Because I think in the end, both the Danish and the American version, you're kind of like, oh, maybe you shouldn't be nice to everyone that you speak to. Is there any sort of, considering that endings are considerably more different, one's bleak and one's kind of, I don't know, like Taken at the end. Do they learn anything differently between the original and this American version?
Trying out this mic again, so let me know if it's fucked.
Oh no!
Oh god. Okay, I can tell on the face. Hang on.
I'm not going to change.
Kind of bug zappery.
We're just going to leave it here. I don't know what's going on.
Cut Cody's tongue out.
This is the universe's way of telling me you should not be streaming. You should be packing and doing everything else.
Well, you can take off if you want. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. My takeaway is, like, speak up for yourself. Like, put your feelings, your peace first more often than not, and because that's something that I kind of live by to a degree. Like, and it always kind of makes me feel like more brash to people, I guess. Like, just even within our neighborhood, like, there's a lot of people who just kind of hang out with other people in the neighborhood that they don't necessarily care for, maybe even have bad vibes off of because they don't want to be rude and they don't want to be the one to leave the party first. And I've never heard anybody actually say this, but I have a sneaking suspicion that I'm kind of known as the dick of the group because, like, I will leave in a second if I don't like what's going on. Like, if somebody shows up I'm not a fan of, I'm like, all right, thanks for inviting me. I'll see you guys later. But I think
they
that's
say
what
direct. You know, they don't call you an asshole.
There you go. Direct. Yeah, he's much. You know, he's a bit much. But anyway, but that's something that me and my wife, to a little bit of a lesser degree, are kind of I wouldn't say known for, but we stand out a bit more among most people because it's like as soon as we don't like things, it's like, okay, we're out. You know, our kids are out. Like, and that's something I notice with a lot of people is they don't behave that way. You know, they want to keep the status quo. They don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to be perceived as anything than, super nice and friendly, even if they're miserably uncomfortable. And that's kind of my takeaway of it, is like, your gut is telling you this for a reason. They're called red flags for a reason. Listen to them sometimes. Sometimes your gut could be wrong, but a lot of times it's right. And I think people find themselves in bad situations a lot. I think there's a line in Girl with the Dragon Tattoo when he gets Daniel Craig, yes, the American one, when he gets Daniel Craig snared up, and he's like, yeah, people always end up in this situation because they don't want to be rude, or there's something like that. And I think that very much is evidenced by what I see in people.
Have you guys ever been on a date, by the way? Oh, go ahead.
No, never.
Yes, I've been on a date.
No, but like a bad date, and like you don't want to leave because it's impolite, like, you know what I mean? So it's like there's all these types of facets of our life, personal, family, work, where it's like we should speak up, but we don't. So I think that's kind of, I don't know. I like that the movie's exploring that. It's I don't know. It's fun. It's fun to. It's like Schadenfreude, but it's like horror. Does that make sense? Like. I don't know.
Yes, I don't know about it being fun, but yes.
Well, fun to watch.
I understand where you're going with that.
Or fun to experience the road.
Good talk, guys. So this upcoming weekend, Never Let You Go and The Substance is coming out. And apparently Transformers 1 is being released, the animated.
That trailer makes me cringe so hard every time I watch it. Just too many jokes, too many, like, I guess it could be fine, but like, have you guys seen it? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I have not.
I know nothing.
I've seen it. Yeah.
I don't know. It could be fun. I love Chris Hemsworth. I guess he's playing Optimus Prime. That's kind of cool.
All the early reviews are saying it's really good. Sean saw it, said it was really good, and somebody else said this is the Transformers movie I've always wanted. So it must just be one of those cases where the trailer focuses on the comedy because of, I don't know, modern Marvel audiences or whatever. It's like we got to get the quips out there when there's a lot more behind the scenes of it.
That's entirely possible.
Is there interest in it, Cody? While you drink, I'm sorry.
You're asking the wrong guy, because it's not animation and Transformers. Yeah. I'm not in either of those crowds.
Right. And it's just not registering for me at all. And I don't know how big a deal it is, because I'm like, oh, Never Let Go. I have to watch that before the 31st. And The Substance I saw this weekend, and that's interesting. Those are 2 horror movies, though. So
yeah,
and I have no idea of what Transformers is supposed to do.
People love Transformers. It's just one of those franchises that there's always people that are down for more of it, I think. I personally want more Bumblebee. I really like Bumblebee. But I also didn't end up seeing the follow-up, I guess, the Rise of the Beasts. Did anybody end up seeing that? It was decent? Okay. I'll check that out. Beast Wars was a huge part of my childhood, almost more so than the original Transformers was, because just the age I was when it all happened.
Yeah, it's animated. I'm sure it's going to do very well.
Oh yeah. I am excited for Substance, though. That looks sick.
Have you seen it yet, Cody?
No.
Yeah, it's Demi Moore's getting buzz, and it's a gorgeous movie that I understand why it's getting buzz, but Demi Moore it plays a character that's duality. Margaret Qualley plays a different version of Demi Moore, where I wouldn't be shocked if they both should be considered the lead. But the third act really gets into body horror. Like, it reminded me of like old school Cronenberg, and it's just
nice.
Yeah,
I'm excited for that.
It's got like the same visual pop that Barbie does, but in the third act, that's not the same pop that Barbie does. That's for sure. It
okay,
really
now I'm
annoying.
really excited for this. That sounds like right up my alley.
It's not the Barbie, but yeah, it's.
I want to see Dark Barbie. It sounds awesome.
How did you see it already?
Saturday we had a screening.
Cook out at your uncle's?
No.
Specialty.
Never Let Go was tonight, and I got that too late.
Mm.
I think there's another one. See, that's why I was curious why. Maybe it's at Fantastic Fest. No, it opens this week.
Never Let Go?
And
Oh yeah, the Substance is. I haven't heard of that movie too much, but Never Let Go is the opening film, or one of the opening films on Thursday.
Oh, is Substance limited? Maybe.
Probably.
Oh, that might be it. Yeah,
Sounds limited.
I'm in New York too, so like some things are like, did you see this? No. Oh. Okay. But yeah, Never Let Go. Cody, are you excited? You're going to see it before us, I think.
I think it looks good. Yeah, I'm not going to see it too far in advance. It's playing basically the same exact time as Thursday night showings. The only difference is Halle Berry will be in the same room or next door when I watch it.
Give her my phone number.
Yeah, exactly. I think it looks good. Like I always like Alexander Aja's films. I don't love any of them, but they're always at least, with the exception of High Tension, they're always at least like a 3-star, 3.5-star experience for me. So I dig what he does for the most part. The trailers looked cool. I can't think of any other horror flicks that Halle has been in besides Gothica, but I really like Gothica. So
Gothica's good.
Seeing her come back is pretty neat.
20 years. It's been like 20 years since Gothica.
Yeah.
Oh, what was that movie she did where she was like chasing someone on the freeway? Was that her or was that someone else?
What?
You're not talking about The Union with Mark Wahlberg, are you?
Oh no! It's like Halle Berry.
No.
Okay.
She did The Call, and then she did something else. I think is the movie you're talking about, where it was kind of felt like The Call 2 or something like that.
Yeah,
she's like a police phone operator, isn't that what?
In The Call, yeah. There was another movie though. I could. It's on the tip of my tongue. I know what Lindsay's talking about.
I like my face. Can I not be on the screen so much, please?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I see. I'm learning the producer stuff over here. I keep getting distracted by things and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Your face is distracting, Charles.
You'll trust me.
Step into my office. You're fucking fired.
Anything coming up at Fantastic Fest you're excited for, Cody, that you haven't seen yet?
I'll be seeing Terrifier 3 right after Never Let Go.
Woo.
So that'll be cool.
Nice.
There's a film with Jeffrey Rush and John Lithgow that seems interesting. I think it's playing right before Never Let Go. So all 3 movies that I'm seeing on Thursday opening night have my interest. I haven't really dove into it enough to check out the other ones, but I kind of walk into most films pretty blind at that festival. Cool. Usually I'll look at it, I'll get like a little bit of the synopsis, or it'll be starring or be directed by somebody I know, and I'll just pick it based off of that. And then I just kind of walk in. So it's always a big gamble, but as far as big movies, those are the only ones, Never Let Go and Terrifier 3, that I recognize. They're playing a lot of animated films. They're playing The Wild Robot and Life of a Snail or something like that, or Memoir of a Snail on the same day. So that's kind of a little odd. Fantastic Fest is usually horror and sci-fi and shit like that. So that was a little strange. But
do you know if they're playing Crawl or Die 2? Because we're around the time where it's coming out.
What is it?
Crawl or Die, ultra micro budget movie where these, like, I don't know, agents are chasing some sort of alien life form, but they're stuck in like this tunnel thing, and it gets progressively more and more tight.
Crawl or Die?
Yes.
Okay.
Doesn't look like.
That wasn't the alligator one, right? That was just Crawl, right?
No, that's just Crawl.
Yeah.
Crawl or Die. You could. You know it when you've seen it because there's like no budget. It's just people in a tube, and it's getting a sequel that's coming out relatively soon.
Is it like a bigger tube or same tube as the tube widened out?
It starts out like, in the Holland Tunnel, and by the film's end, you're in a straw.
Oh wow!
And I remember, like, when the movie was over, I was just like clenched the whole way, like, oh yeah, this is. If you're
I don't think I could do that one.
Really?
That's my thing. Like Cody's. Yeah, like I've been trapped in a few spaces. That gets me.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
I've only felt that once with watching something. Game of Thrones, the Battle of the Bastards, when they start like just moving in and just like all the shields, and so there's just no room for it. So like all the soldiers are just getting crushed. That
Claustrophobia is not fun.
Yeah, I remember there being a scene in the third Blair Witch movie where she's crawling through like a dirt tunnel or something that was pretty effective. They're also playing Apartment 7A, which I guess is the Rosemary's Baby prequel.
Oh, right.
So that's
did have some news about it.
So is it how the baby got made?
I guess. There's a film called Getaway that is written by Nick Frost and starring Nick Frost.
Shit.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
Ditto.
Let's see.
Is Simon Pegg in it?
It doesn't look like it.
Probably.
No. What other big ones here? Honora, which I've been hearing a lot about here recently. It's the girl who was one of the killers in Scream 5, and she's playing like a sex worker that gets married or something. But I've a ton of people have been talking about it. VHS Beyond, they always premiere the new VHS film there, and I think one of them is directed by Justin Long, so that kind of interests me, even though I haven't really liked a VHS movie yet. And 5 secret screenings, so literally could be anything. I have a hope that Nosferatu will be one of them.
That would be awesome. That's kind of my next one that I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah. I have a feeling 2 of them will be major, 3 of them will be obscure things. So like one year I went, the 2 secret screenings was Werewolf by Night, the little Marvel short thing, and the Hulu Hellraiser movie, which was cool because you were the only people to get to see it on the theater. The next year they did Saltburn, Dream Scenario, Dogman, and then ended with Saw X a day before it came out in theaters. So that
all of those are solid. That's awesome, man. You might get some really good ones.
Smile 2, I would be surprised. I was actually surprised it didn't play there because they premiered the first one. It was the world premiere. There's also whispers that Chris Stuckman's movie might be there, but I've heard from people that Neon has yanked it where they're not doing any more festivals because they want to do like a big push like Long Legs for 2025. Really? So that could go either way. You also have things like somebody sent me something earlier today. What is the name of it? It is Mickey 17 is kind of getting speculated a little bit. I've learned to not speculate too hard because every time you do, you end up getting disappointed. Because both years I was like, oh, it could be this, and it ends up being something like, oh, it's Dogman.
What is Mickey 17, by the way? Is that another Steamboat Willie?
I think it's Bong. Is it Bong Joon-ho? Is that how you say his name? I think it's his name.
Bong Joon-ho.
Bong Joon-ho. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, it's close. Yeah, Bong Joon-ho's new movie.
I'm always down for some Bong. Okay, yeah. Hell yeah.
The documentary doesn't interest me, but something that was a really wild surprise just because he's actually going to be at the festival, at least for one day. Will Ferrell's new documentary is going to be there.
Oh, that one actually sounds kind of interesting.
Will and Harper.
I'd like to see that one.
I have no idea who Harper is, so I don't really know the context. I think that she was a writer for SNL, so they've been friends for a long time, but just the fact that he's going to be there intrigues me because it's like, oh, wow. That very weird place to meet Will Ferrell if you do.
I'm hearing a lot of buzz about that as far as docs go. So yeah, that's awesome, man. Especially if you get to see it.
I love how a lot of Saturday Night Live stuff is because there's the movie about the first night that they went out that's coming out that looks really good.
That's another speculation. So the Saturday night for secret screening, which would be cool because that sounds interesting. Let's see. I don't see. For
reference, last year both The Coffee Table and Strange Darling was at Fantastic Fest, right, Cody?
Correct.
So people, just to give people an idea of what
those are some of my favorite from this year. So I hope you get to see next year's amazing ones.
Yeah, the first year I went, some of the big ones were The Menu, which was my favorite of that festival.
Nice.
And you had Banshees of Inisherin played there, Bones and All played there. And then Terrifier 2 and Smile. And then last year it was Strange Darling, When Evil Lurks, Saw X, Totally Killer. Coffee Table played, but I didn't hear much about it, so I didn't see it last year. But yeah, Strange Darling, I saw it, and I was like waiting for like a year for everybody to talk about it. I was like, when the fuck is this thing coming out?
Yeah. And they're not talking about it enough. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, it's still making money, and The Crow's not. That's something. You know,
Yeah.
it's not much, but it's something.
Yeah. And then the big closing film is Mr. Crockett, which I have never heard of. Let's see.
Is it a Davy Crockett thing, or like?
No, it's some kind of horror
I don't
flick.
think so.
It says it's a mashup of Freddy Krueger and Mr. Rogers.
Oh
is
boy.
what it has
Oh,
down here
nice.
I'm down.
as the selling point.
Scary Terry?
Let's see. Based on his own short film produced as a part of Hulu's Bite Size Halloween. So it might be a Hulu film. They've been doing a lot of streaming service stuff the last couple of years. Like they did Pet Cemetery Bloodlines last year, and Totally
You were doing
Killer.
so well before you said that.
And a lot of Shudder films tend to premiere there too.
You think that 2019 Pet Cemetery is going to get a sequel, or is that just like they're just going to pretend?
They just gave it a prequel, didn't it? Isn't that what Bloodlines was?
Oh, is that what that is?
It's
oh,
awful.
never mind. Oh.
It's
he
atrocious.
wasn't asking about a prequel. He wanted to know a sequel.
Oh, a
where they
sequel. I don't care what
continue.
happens before the movie. Because how did that movie end? Like all the evil people went out to like evilify the world or something like that. Like I don't know.
No, they were getting ready to kill Gage, and they were all going to be like one big happy undead family.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay, yeah, you're right.
And all of us were very unhappy fans.
That's what happens when they do American dismal endings. They just
Ugh.
can't do it. Yeah, that was bad. But what? Look who's talking.
Look who's talking.
Three.
Look who's talking 3. I didn't know there was a sequel.
What?
Was there a second one? Did they skip number 2?
Look
Yeah.
who's talking
Yeah,
too.
they had to.
TOO.
Yeah,
Oh.
and then Look Who's Talking Now was Look Who's Talking 3. It had the pets.
Oh, wait, yeah, they
right?
had.
Or
They
am I
had
wrong?
This is coming back to me now. I apologize. Okay.
Wait a minute. I'm dizzy.
Has anyone seen Stuckman's movie, by the way, or is it just like just out in the winds right now?
It's shown for people, right, Cody? Somebody's seen it.
Yeah, it played at Fantasia Fest, maybe one other place, but Fantasia Fest was where a lot of the early reviews came out of it.
Huh.
I'm
Flanagan's
fascinated
producing
to
it,
see
so-
how that goes. Flanagan's producing it? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was
Nice.
kind of brought in as like a last minute name to throw in there.
I mean,
I'd take it.
yeah. You know, if it's my movie, like, yeah, please, by all means. Like, I mean, I don't really like them, but how many movies have I seen? Because Del Toro threw his name on it just to get it attention. Like Mama, Don't Be Afraid of the
Yeah.
Dark. Like, you know, those weren't great, but you know, got me to see them. Like,
It is frustrating because the Candyman remake, they threw Jordan Peele's producer
Oh,
credit
that's right,
on it,
yeah.
and it's just
Yeah, 3/4 of the people thought he directed it.
I thought it was okay. What did you guys think of the remake? Like, it wasn't like, I don't know, it was alright. You know, it didn't do it for you.
No.
Talking about the
Candyman.
Candyman, the sequel. Oh yeah, it's I liked it. It was a little heavy-handed, and
It was heavy-handed. It
it
was
felt
very
like there was
heavy.
at least 15 minutes cut out of the third act, and I wanted more
Mhm.
Tony Todd. I
Right.
like I like the idea of having multiple Candymen. It's like this curse that keeps on going, and you know the way that they try to play that into commentary, but just saving Tony Todd for the final shot, I was like,
Yeah, that was kind of lame. What was his one line though,
obligatory.
Tony Todd? Tell everyone or something.
Everyone.
God, that voice hits hard, even if you have to wait 2 hours for it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I love playing Spider-Man 2 with headphones on, and you get to hear Venom's voice like as you're swinging around, like "Hello, Peter." You're like, "Yeah, it's him."
Oh, Tony Todd plays Venom. Oh, I gotta play that.
Yeah.
Then. That sounds sick. Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds sick.
Marcy in the chat asks, "Are you excited for Flanagan making Exorcist instead of David Gordon Green?"
I wouldn't say excited. I trust Flanagan more than I do David Gordon Green, but I still am puzzled at the notion of an Exorcist sequel, and we are on what, our 4th one.
Oh God, so many.
I mean, if you're going to course correct and get people excited, he's the name to get. But still, it's like I got to know more about it.
right.
Like I don't I don't know what else there is to do with that story. Like that's a one and done if there ever was one, in my opinion. And Exorcist 3 I love, but it's kind of a special case. Like it's a sequel, but
Mhm.
loosely.
I agree on that. It's just funny. It was as a kid, I watched The Exorcist and I kind of just laughed at it. Be like, this is supposed to be scary. Then I watched it as an adult. I'm like, oh no, this movie kicks ass. I am loving every second of this. Just got to grow into it sometimes.
I am curious how far he's going to go with it, though, because Flanagan always tends to be on a little more on the classy side. Like, he doesn't go too hardcore. The kid getting killed in Doctor Sleep was like the worst thing that he'd ever done. And Exorcist is fucking gnarly. And so, like, as far as the language and the visuals, I'm just curious if it's going to be, I don't want to say sanitized, but like toned down a bit, or if he's going to go full bore with it. Because he's on record for like not, for a horror director, he doesn't really like watching gore. Like I think I saw an interview where he's talking about the light bulb apple scene in Oculus. He can't watch, even though he fucking directed it. So I don't know. It's always interesting to hear a filmmaker say like, I can't watch my own stuff.
Sorry. I felt the entire theater when she bit into that light bulb. Like everyone, just like there was like a wave across the theater, just because I actually saw it with a full theater. But everyone, like, God, that I love Oculus. That movie's so fucking good.
Don't watch my video in October.
Well, I mean, you're not,
sir. If you do not like Oculus, you're not allowed on my channel.
I will be leaving shortly. What was that, Greg?
You know, you weren't specifically talking about the apple bulb scene.
No.
You know, you were just talking about in general. The apple bulb. Decent scene.
I like Oculus. For me, it's one of those movies that goes a bit too far with you not being able to know if what you're watching is real, and it just kind of gets a little too much by the third act. So when it tries to shock you, it's like you don't even have the emotional reaction to it because you still don't know what you're watching is real.
This fake too? Like
exactly. So like Malum was a movie like that last year where it cranks it up so much where I'm like, I can't even invest in what's going on because I don't know what the fuck is real and fake, and an apparition and a fucking premonition and everything else.
Yeah, that sucks. I can only go so far. It's like I give up. I don't care anymore. How about that?
Yeah. I also really like. Well, it was funny in Oculus. Like Karen Gillan, I think kicks so much ass in that movie. She's incredible. But then like her brother, I feel like he kind of phoned it in. It's like very very uneven performance.
I don't even remember who played the brother, and I just watched it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Anything else?
Any other movies coming up anyone's excited for? Any October releases we excited for with the horror coming up?
Just like every week, there's one or two every week moving in.
I'll have to look it up because my brain doesn't go more.
Code, you're going to see about 30 of them in the next 3 days.
Yeah, I know. Not even ready for that. Hang on.
I do always forget that Oculus is a WWE produced film.
As most films should be.
So you got Salem's Lot, which the trailer for me just screamed it. It just looks so much like
that's going to Max, though, isn't it? It's not getting a theater release.
Yeah, it's going to Max. But you know that the trailer didn't do a whole lot for me. You got Joker Folie à Deux, which I still don't know what the fuck that movie is. What else here?
Apparently, it's a musical.
Cash grab.
It's a musical, yet Lady Gaga said it's not a musical. People just break into song to evoke what's going on in the story sometimes. And it's like, so it's a musical.
I don't understand. The music is symbolic.
That's incredible.
You got Terrifier 3.
What an incredible thing.
Smile 2. Venom the Last Dance. There's a whole shitload of movies I just don't recognize.
Yeah, it's a stuffy 4 or 5 weeks until Halloween.
Am I still racist?
I still said the sequel. They're already doing the sequel.
Yeah, the substance is wild, Manny. If you're interested, I mean that's really half the battle. It for 2/3, you feel like, all right, so this is just like a beauty horror, you know, somebody who's got issues with aging. But the third act, the horror shows up, and it's pretty awesome. Good old-fashioned body horror.
I'm really excited for that. That sounds like it's right up my alley. That's That's what I want to say. That's the thing that I'm most excited for. But yeah, I hope I haven't built it up too much in my head.
Okay. Are we done?
You have.
Sure.
I think, good show, guys. This was fun. Thanks for stopping by, Cody. Sorry you had a few technical difficulties. Always good to have you, though.
It's going to piss me off that I can't.
Wait, this actually might be your first appearance on my channel.
Oh, hey.
Oh, that's annoying.
He looks around like the background changed. Wait a minute. I was wondering where this drapes came from.
Yeah, surprise! You've actually been filming in my house in Los Angeles while I'm up here in Northern California with my mom. It's a whole crazy thing. But what you got coming up, Cody? Anything in particular before Fantastic Fest, or just a bunch of stuff once you get back?
I'm toying with the notion of recording a video tonight just to have something else that I can edit. I'm dragging on a top 10 horror movie soundtracks video that my patrons picked, but I've just been slammed busy and haven't been able to crank it out yet. So that's possible. In all likeliness, though, it's pretty much just going to be Fantastic Fest coverage for the next 2 weeks until I get back. And then I'll do a ranking of the festival and then back to regular scheduled programming.
For October. What a weird month to make yourself busy.
Yeah. It's always that way, man. September and October, I'm like, okay, it's over.
And then February's like, can I find something to do, please?
You guys want to talk about Freddy again?
Gray, what do you got?
What about you, Mr. Gray? You got something fun coming up?
I am supposedly a YouTuber, so yeah, one day there'll be stuff again. But until then, every Thursday you can check out the Thinkers on That Darn Kiddas channel. A lot of the people that you see here have been there. Maybe they'll be there again. Who knows? This week we're doing a think on music, so yeah, come join us. Think about music. It'll be contentious, but yeah, people from like 3 different continents getting together, disagreeing about everything in a somewhat amicable way. Go over there, enjoy it. Music. YouTube at That Darn Kidda every Thursday. That's about all I got going on. What about you, Charles? What do you have going on, sir?
Right on. Yeah, so my review for The Substance is up now.
Hell yeah.
It comes out on Friday, so go check it out.
Woo.
That's it for me, Lindsay. What do you got?
Stuff. I'm here visiting mom, babysitting pets. So I've got lots of free time and movies that I've seen recently that I want to talk about. Some of them racist, some of them Beetlejuicean, some of them trying to speak about evil but can't quite do it. Did I tell you guys I actually saw Beetlejuice a second time? And I kind of liked it more the second time. Like, it's still like a mess of a movie, but it's fun. It puts a smile on my face. That's all you need sometimes, and maybe that's all I need.
I don't think we claimed that the movie didn't put a smile on our face, though.
Oh, do we not? Oh, okay. I just remember just being hard on it. Maybe we weren't as hard on it as I remember.
I gave it 3.5.
Catherine O'Hara always gets a smile. Come on.
She does. She's very good. That is one thing watching a second time confirmed Catherine O'Hara is a fucking goddess, man. But yeah, no, that's what all I got going on here. Thank you for everyone that tuned in to watch. You guys are the best. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for I already got a couple more subscribers. I got the notifications. I appreciate you guys. And yeah, I hope to see y'all again very soon. Cody, give us the last word.
Panties.